All right. Welcome back, music producers and sound designers. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Dan Xander, and this is Reaktor Sound Design. Today, we're going to be we're diving into Ableton using Reaktor as a plugin inside of Ableton. And I've got myself set up here where I have Reaktor as a plugin. I can show you how I did that. I just brought in a version of Reaktor from my plugins library, and we're using it as a VST insert plugin inside Reaktor. We're just going to click on the little wrench. We're going to open it up, and when you open it up, you're going to see three different sections. One is the play section, one is the patch section, and one is the build section. We're going to be using the build section. Gives us the most flexibility to design the sounds that we want to design, and we can use the primary level. We can use it at the primary level, which is more fine-tuning modular components, and we can use pre-built modular components. So I'm going to jump right into it. And if this is your first time to the stream, welcome. We're going to be looking at sound design and using Reaktor as a tool to design any sound you want inside of your productions, and basically make sounds that are uniquely your own. So we're going to be diving right in, and today we're going to be looking at designing a 808 bass. So I'm going to pull up this patch here, and you're going to be greeted with a blank page. That's okay, because we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to bring you through how to build out your own 808 instead of using the same old recycled sample as everyone else. Because who wants to do that? You want to have something fresh and something that's uniquely your own. And today we're going to build something that's maybe a little bit more hard-hitting, something like a pitch-bending 808 in Reaktor from scratch. So this is what we're going to be doing, and this is a sneak peek into my 30-day sound design course, link in the description, but just going to give you a sneak peek. So we're going to first load in Reaktor. We've got that loaded in, and now I'm going to load in a sine wave or an oscillator wave. So I'm going to go into my bento box collection, and I'm going to bring in note in. So we have a note in here, and we're going to bring in an oscillator as well. Then we're going to make sure that's on a sine wave. Then I'm going to bring in a pitch envelope. So I'm going to bring in an envelope, and we're going to rename this envelope. It's going to be named a pitch ADSR. So that's going to be an envelope that's going to feed into our oscillator. So then I need a VCA. And so we can visualize our waveform. I'm going to bring in a scope. So we're going to use that scope to visualize our wave. And so the pitch is what's going to create that thump sound, the pitch envelope. It's going to create that thump or that kick sound that we hear in an 808 bass. And we're going to go to the next stage. We're going to add character. So I'm going to plug everything together, or patch everything together, and we're going to bring this to life. So I'm going to make sure my volume's all the way down. You can use this button in the corner to mute everything so there's no sound coming through your patch, just for your ears, because this is uncontrolled signals. These are uncontrolled signals inside of a Reaktor, which means they're not controlled with an automatic volume control or a compressor or a saturation or anything to tame the sound. So you have to manually make sure that your levels are within under the 0 dB range, making sure that you don't clip your sound and that you stay within human hearing range of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, just making sure you don't damage your hearing. So now we're going to add in, we've got our assembly here. We've assembled our patch pieces. I'm going to turn it on, and you're going to see a waveform here, but you don't hear anything. The reason you don't hear anything is because I need to turn up the volume. So you're going to hear something now, and we're going to lower the pitch. Turn up the volume. And when I hit a key, you're going to hear some notes, but they're very low. So I'm going to add a little bit of glide control on this, so the notes glide into each other, maybe about 300 milliseconds, somewhere around there. So the notes glide into each other. And I'm going to use MIDI to trigger my notes. So I'm going to need to add another envelope here. So the next envelope we're going to add is an ADSR envelope. This is going to be for our actual this is going to be for our amp. So it's going to be our amp envelope. So I'm going to bring that in, going to connect it to the gate so we have on-off control, and then I'm going to turn down the volume on our VCA. You can see signal coming in through our VCA here. Our note in is when I hit a key on my keyboard below me, there is a note going in through the note in, and there is a note lighting up that gets receiving signal from, it's lighting blue and red because it's active, but there's signal coming into this mod A. So we're going to turn up the modulation depth to whatever we feel like. Usually I do 100%, and then we are going to hear notes. So it's a very low pitch. So you can see the waveform is really spread out. That means we're hitting a really low waveform. As we go up in pitch, the wave should tighten up and there should be more of them. So we got the glide working and we've got our pitch. So now I'm going to add a little bit of pitch envelope to decrease the attack. So we get a nice 808. And there we go. So I'm going to test to make sure our volume's okay. So you can see it's really loud here. So I'm going to bring the volume down, and we can add a little bit of utility to this. So we're going to go into our plugins or our effects, utilities, bring in a utility. I'm going to turn up the gain a little bit. And we're also going to add, I'm going to add a compressor or bring down the volume. Yeah, so I'm going to add an effects chain that I've already created. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that and there we go. We've got our 808 sound. It's sounding really good. And we're getting that nice glide. We're getting a nice crisp glide on each note. So I'm going to now, let's add in a little more legato. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, I'm really liking that. So we're going to go ahead and save our sound. We're going to call it 808 Glide. And then we can use that sound in a production. So I'm going to go over to my Ableton set or Ableton arrangement view. We can click in a block. We can add a new audio tab by hitting Command T, and we can record into this. Or we can simply put in MIDI blocks. I like to take off the loop function because I want to create individual bars of sound. Then we can turn on the metronome. And actually, I decided that I want to create an 8-step sequencer out of this. So I'm going to go back into my Reaktor. Now that the bass sound is done, I'm going to hook it up to an 8-step sequencer so that it can play by itself. And I can come up with other ideas that I want to create in this little mini loop we're going to create. So just to demonstrate it, I'm going to bring in my gate control. I'm going to bring in my reset. I'm going to patch it to my note in pitch. Or whoops, there we go, to my pitch control. And I'm going to send my pitch from my oscillators through my scope or through my 8-step, and gate control as well is going to go through my 8-step. So if I hit the metronome, if I hit play, I'm going to turn down the metronome to a more tolerable level, and then we're going to play. Okay, I'm not liking that so much, so I'm going to revert back to our original sound. No, we don't want to save. I just want that original. I like that, so I'll record it in manually. Gonna bring the volume down slightly on the track. Okay, so we'll start our metronome. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so let's make that into a loop really quickly. Okay, so we already got a loop. So just to demonstrate, we can take this and now create some kind of create a track out of it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some hi-hats, maybe some drums, and we're going to finish it off. So we're going to go to just some go-to sounds. Turn off our automation. Turn down our volume. I'm going to add some movement, so. Okay. Good part of this is, sorry, a little part of this is knowing your sound library, knowing what sounds you have in your head that you're going to choose. That's a big part of it. So I'm liking this. I want it to be a little bit of a more scattered pattern. I already have one in mind. So let's change to 1/8 notes. 1/16 notes. Then we add a hi-hat. Duplicate this, and we're going to bring in or snare. So hi-hats. Good practice to name your stuff as you go along. Just keeps you organized. So we're going to rename this on the track. 808 glide. We're going to check the key of our track. Make sure that everything that we play is in the right key. This is one of the biggest things that I guess newer producers maybe forget about, but it's really important that you tune your stuff as you go. Just gonna check the key, turn on the volume. E major. So that's E major. Okay, let's bring this down to 1 bar. And then this one will be the snare. Gonna add a little bit of movement on these hats. Okay, that's what I wanted. Just gonna duplicate that. And we're gonna go ahead and consolidate the clip. Gonna bring down the bass. Just mixing as we go a little bit. Can add in a kick. Just trying to make a simple loop that we can use as a foundation to our track. Gives us a song starter or finished track. So kick should be easier now once we've established the groove. Not liking those kicks, so We're not going to have that every time. Every other one. Okay, we're just going to repeat this. 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to split this clip and repeat. You can even add a compressor on this kick so the bass kick comes out even more. Just some sidechain. So input from the kick will duck the bass slightly. So I'm going to, I know the kick is on 42, so we're going to bring that. So I've renamed it. This is actually kick. And just a note in mind, if you want to have a number there, you can just add the hashtag sign back and you will get the number. I'm gonna stick without them for now, just because I like the names. So I'll go and rename this, make it a different color, assign that to a track. I like the color that's on this kick, so we'll just make it the same for simplicity. And these can be a different color as well. I like that color, so we'll just choose that one too. And there we go. We got a basic loop. I'm gonna just finish with our compressor that we were talking about. Turn down the threshold. So every time the kick hits, the bass is affected, so it's solo. This is slow release. This is fast release. This is slow attack, fast attack. And ratio is how much stomp we want to add in. So it's easier to visualize with this. You can see the kick affecting the compression of the actual, when the bass comes in. Without it. With it. Okay, I can hear some distortion. Bring it all back in. Gonna add some more snare, more hi-hat hits to keep the momentum going. So let's just gonna copy this part over here. I just like to do that sometimes, just if I have a part I want to duplicate or make changes to, I'll just save it. We'll go on every hit. We'll add one. And every downbeat. Okay, I'm liking that pattern. I'm gonna bring that over. Let's see how it works. And we'll play it as a loop. That was actually on the wrong clip. So is this one. Just gonna go over and just mute those out for a second. And there we go. We got our finished loop. Just gonna add a quick simple lead to that. Lead and maybe a snare. There we go. So the snare brings it up a little bit. Let's create that movement. Okay. I just want one more lead sound, maybe a pad. Or a pad sound, I should say. So we're gonna go into our library. I think I have the perfect thing. Just check out our tools. And I think I'm going to choose let's see. Let's bring in some serum. I'm gonna choose some kind of pad sound. Or pluck. Let's see. Just a simple melody. So I'm not liking that buzzy sound. We're going to mute that sound for now. But yeah, hopefully you got the idea of how you can incorporate your 808 sound into your productions using Reaktor sounds built from scratch. As we've seen here, our Reaktor bass sound, it's sounding really crispy, really nice. I'm liking the way it's sounding. And you got an idea of how to use that in your production to enhance your productions. So if you like this, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And also, if you're into this kind of modular sound design and you're really excited about this, I've got something coming up next week. I'm hosting a 5-day live challenge from May 19th to May 24th. And we're going to walk through how to design your own signature sounds for music placements using nothing but Reaktor for your creativity. And maybe sprinkle in some sounds, but generally we're going to use Reaktor for the whole production. And if you ever want to stand out and get your music sync ready and build pro level patches without relying on presets, this is the stream for you. And so keep your eyes open. I'll drop the official invite links very soon, and spots will be limited for this. So stay tuned, and I'll see you there. Peace out.